That tower's still sending people to the other side. If we act quick enough, we can launch a rescue op before... You want to tell me what's going on here?
I asked the lab to devise a test to root out any more infiltrators. We're testing everyone going in or out of the base. Take them to quarantine.
Too bad about De Silva. Huh, Falk?
Heinrich has isolated one of Mosaic's imperative commands. To humans, it's simple noise. But to an outsider, so much more. Proceed, Doctor. He's reacting.
That shouldn't be happening.
Higher!
I am William...
Carter. William.
Carter!
Agent Carter, I'm sorry to be the one to break this to you.
Where's Julia?
While you were away, there was an accident.
What? Bullshit. What accident?
A fire. At your house in Arlington. Julia and Richard.
Unfit for duty. You're drunk, Agent. Go home and sleep it off.
Jules. Buried before I could say goodbye.
This is your third disciplinary hearing, Agent.
Let me go.
You got me, Will.
Let me help them. Let me go. Let me go.
Awake now, are we?
Yeah. He convinced I'm human yet?
You're alive, aren't you?
Something like that.
Well, you should be fine. The director left an order to send you to talk to him as soon as you woke up. I wouldn't keep him waiting.
Good. Carter? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Anybody? Am I dead? Isn't there supposed to be something? Someone out there? Who's there? Who are you? Carter? No.
How are the infected, Doctor?
They're stable, but that's not exactly a good thing. Nurses make sure they're fed and cleaned. That's all we can do for now.
That's better than nothing.
It's like a ward full of coma patients, except they keep talking to themselves.
Any chance of finding a cure?
We've got a variety of tests running at the moment, but our first attempts were not pretty.
So it's not as simple as scraping the black goo off their faces.
We tried that. You don't want to see what's underneath.
What's happening to the sleepwalkers anyway?
We're still trying to figure that out. Their autonomic system thinks it's in a coma, but something else is influencing their physical actions.
You mean they're getting orders from somewhere?
Only on a very basic level, like how they move toward the alien tower you saw.
Any idea how they're getting these commands?
We think it has to do with the silicoid substance on their faces. It might be functioning like the Mosaic control centers we find in Outsiders.
All the more reason to track down Mosaic and put a stop to it. I suppose there's not much more you can do for now.
We'll keep on testing. Until then, all we can do is keep them comfortable.
The lockdown situation is over. Big deal. I just don't see the difference.
Right. I mean, whoop-de-doo, the doors might be open, but where is there to go?
5 minutes out there and you're gonna find yourself right back under the ground.
At least we're buried alive.
Hey, Carter, I heard about De Silva. Tough choice, but you did the right thing, son. How are you holding up, Carter?
I've had better days.
Whole human race has had better days.
How are we holding up?
Oh, pretty well, actually. We keep taking in more people, but Barnes has those choppers flying day and night, recovering food and gear from storehouses.
We might make it through this yet.
Oh, I still wouldn't bet on us. But we've got a fighting chance, and I hear that's thanks to you.
Now that you've seen the sleepwalkers, what do you think?
That's worse than I thought. But at least they're safe in the infirmary. But even so... no, never mind.
What's bothering you?
Look, it's not right to mention it, but we're losing a lot of food and water taking care of them. Without them, we'd have another 4 months of supplies.
What else would you recommend?
Well, nothing right now. But if this war turns into a long haul, we'll have to ask ourselves if we can afford to be so merciful.
Your old buddy Falk nearly had me shot.
Ha! Not the first time. Well, it'd have been a couple of times he nearly shot me, too.
This isn't a joke.
No, son. No, it's not. It's real goddamn life, and there's a lot more at stake than your ego. So walk it off, and try to remember that he's watching out for our whole species.
But what if he starts abusing his authority?
If that happens, I'll stand right beside you. But just fight one war at a time.
That's everything I need.
All right, then. Good luck out there, Carter.
Hear about Agent De Silva? Yeah, I saw him. Guy's a real trooper.
I don't know. If I were him, I don't think I would have wanted to come back.
What are you talking about?
We can't afford to take care of everyone. I'm just saying, maybe he could have gone out with a bang.
Just because he's infected doesn't mean he's dead. Better to...
The recon agent calls in a location. After a few moments, artillery bombards everything in the target area, friend or foe.
Sure we don't have any spies, and we can go topside. Sure is a nice change, huh?
Sure, kid. Things are just right. Maybe you can ask one of the sleepwalkers to the big dance.
Seen anything interesting in the field?
You know how it is. Rampaging alien hordes, bolts of deadly blue plasma, walking death machines from another world. All in a day's work.
You make it sound like an issue of Captain Thunderbolt.
I don't have to try very hard.
What the hell has Falk so paranoid?
You mean more paranoid than usual? Doesn't trust anybody but Weaver. God knows why.
Weaver's always been a good agent. Certainly better than you.
Except I'm not the one getting into screamy matches with the old man, am I?
We're done here.
I don't know how anyone could have mistaken you for an alien. They have better senses of humor.
Another infected. William, could I have a word with you?
We need to talk about that test of yours.
My most sincere apologies for what happened at your screening, William. But as you can see, we have a more pressing matter at the moment. This man is infected.
That's never happened in the base before. Or is this another unexpected side effect of your test, Doc?
Nine. I'm quite sure this is from an outside source, but I need your help to find out where, and to do it without causing a panic.
This agent's turning into a sleepwalker, and I've seen how that goes. Unless you found a cure, I don't see how you're gonna help.
It's not a cure, but it may be the first step.
Well, what is it?
I have discovered a way to detect sleepwalker infections at an early stage, before the symptoms present. It will let us treat the subjects earlier, or at least get a better understanding of the conversion process.
Another test, Doctor?
Not to fear, William. This time you will be the one performing the test. And quietly, if at all possible.
The last thing we need is an infection scare.
Precisely. Thankfully, the detective will find any infected within a large area. Here, check in operations, engineering, the main lab, the briefing room, and the hangar. That should cover the base.
And if I find any other infected?
Send them to see Dr. Hera. I will meet you there, and perhaps we can help these men.
During the screening, it felt like my head was going to explode. Any idea what happened?
I have no idea. Perhaps it was some resonance from your earlier exposure to the alien artifact. Tell me, how did it feel?
Like someone was inside my skull using a hammer, trying to break free. It was all I could do to stay conscious.
Yes. And you said something, too. Your name? Perhaps your rank as well?
Hell if I know. For a few seconds, it was all just a red haze.
Well, I am glad you are with us again, my friend.
You said that noise during the screening was something from Mosaic. How did you discover that?
Dr. Veer has been examining the device removed from our captive infiltrator. It would appear that this is how they receive commands from their Mosaic network.
So they're radio-operated?
Not quite. But it seems to give them a sort of subconscious connection to a larger command hierarchy.
And you used the command for attack. You couldn't pick something safer, like dance?
Our control is too crude for specific commands, only general urges. And violence is a very common response, William.
I'll be on my way.
As you say. But if you would like, I have some experiments I could perform on the...
No. I'll check for infected, but I've spent quite enough time as your guinea pig for today, Doc.
Seen those sleepwalkers?
See them? I caught one of them wandering. What are they doing with all those sleepwalkers?
You read the report. Seems pretty clear, right?
What do you mean?
They come to our world, capture us, pack them off into ships to take home. You remember your American history classes?
You don't mean...
All right, boys. Get your gear in order and gather around.
This gonna be another rescue cakewalk, sir? Or are we gonna see some action?
No. This time we're going into the belly of the beast.
All right, it's about time.
Some of those sleepwalkers are congregating at a tower out in New Mexico. We're gonna find out why and shut them down.
You sure we won't catch anything being around all those sleepwalkers?
I hope you have something useful to tell me.
Maybe. We've been reading your reports, particularly your communication with Axis.
Any brilliant new discoveries?
More like some terrible suspicions.
Until we can strike.
Any idea how the infection spread?
It's less common around rivers and lakes. I suspect there's some sort of freshwater plant or fish that maybe inhibits the infection.
But do you know how it spreads?
Sadly, no. But we're reasonably certain that it isn't transmissible between humans. Otherwise, you agents would have come down with it already.
That's comforting. Any idea where they're taking the sleepwalkers?
Back to their homeworld, we assume. Unless they're taking humans to some sort of intergalactic cattle auction.
I don't know what's worse. That we're being taken, or that we might be bought and sold by these things.
Humans have done it to one another for thousands of years. What makes you think aliens would be any nicer?
Any idea why they're taking humans at all?
We've got some theories, but nothing is certain. And none of it is pretty.
How bad?
The best case scenario is that they're being taken to their homeworld as slaves. But it could be a lot worse than that. The word livestock has come up a couple of times.
I think I get the point. Well, this was depressing. Thanks.
Think of it as more encouragement to fight. Good luck, Carter.
keep thinking that elevator's gonna open up and my Mabel's... It's not happening, buddy. No way, no how. But it could, you know?
I want you to check and double-check everything. If you went over it, go over it again, and again, just to be sure. Carter, you'll never believe what we found. We caught a spy sneaking into the Avenger. A damn spy. Here.
Shit. Did he do any damage?
Don't think so. We're double-checking. But I think we got him before he could do much.
Another outsider infiltrator. God damn it.
Not an outsider. A Russian. We get attacked by aliens, and we still have to keep our eyes open for Reds. Those commie bastards never give up.
Huh. A Russian agent here. I should talk to him. He might be useful.
You've got to be kidding. A Russian? As soon as Falk gives the word, the only thing that spy will be useful for is target practice.
Cool it, Barnes. I want to see what he has to say. Right now, being human matters more than being a commie.
Fine. He's in the foreman's office. But I still think you should just put a bullet in his head.